want you to win. I want you to achieve. I want you to become great. I want you to make your dream reality. But I can't just want it for you. You're competing against millions. You must do what they won't. See the vision they don't yet see. Dream bigger than they ever have. You must chip away at your dream. I want you to win. I want you to achieve. I want you to become great. I want you to make your dream reality. But I can't just want it for you. You're competing against millions. You must do what they won't. See the vision they don't yet see. Dream bigger than they ever have. You must chip away at your dream. I want you to win. I want you to achieve. I want you to become great. I want you to make your dream reality. But I can't just want it for you. You're competing against millions. You must do what they won't. See the vision they don't yet see. Dream bigger than they ever have. You must chip away at your dream.
Every single person out here has a dream, but the reality is that they lose sight of it. We get busy, we get caught up in work, and our dream passes us by. I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen, inspiring people to take the small steps and realize that dream that's way up here is actually possible when you chunk it down and you move closer to it. So I come out here and I hold up my sign every day. Hey guys, my name is Zach. I'm out here talking about dreams. I started doing signs that were motivational and inspirational. And then after weeks of doing that and 40, 50 signs, my friends online said, dude, I know you're missing these great conversations. We need to see what you're talking about with the people, not just a picture of your sign. So I got this GoPro right here. And now it's evolved to where I've become more clear about my life's mission, which is everything about dreams. The very first day I come out here, I'll be so honest with you, I was terrified. I was scared of what people think. I'd already spoken on stage. I was scared. I was like, what if people shut me down? What if people, hate on me? What if people cuss me out? The what if is what holds everybody back. What if they don't?
Welcome in the building, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here with you for another installment of Dream Talk. I'm your host, Zach Krupp, aka the Genie, aka Dreamcat. I've actually been thinking about that. Is that too many names? Should I, narrow that down? Should I simplify that out and just, be one name or my name? I don't know. A lot of AKAs and a lot of nicknames, but nonetheless, stoked to be here with you guys. Going to deliver some fire. I'm actually so stoked about this. I wrote down half of it. The rest is in my phone. This idea came to me weeks ago, probably months ago, and a flurry of ideas I wrote down. It's like, this is going to be hot, because what I'm going to be sharing with you today is multitude of $1 million ideas. And I'll tell you exactly why I needed them, why I was gatekeeping them, and why I'm going to let them go, because I cannot use them. So I know where I'm going, but someone else can take advantage of this. And literally $1 million ideas. Maybe this is you might be the perfect person, your cousin, your aunt, someone you can share this information with someone else. That is the power that you have. So that's what we're going to be talking about shortly, $1 million ideas. But before we do, let me tell you how the show works. So this is Dream Talk, inspired by guess who? Dreamcat, the most successful cat in the world. He wears a blue suit. That's why you see me in the blue suit. He wears sunglasses, a red tie. He's the most successful cat in the world. And what we are doing is we're building a community, but we're not actually actively doing that. We're building an infrastructure for said community. The purpose here is to bring all the dreamers of the world into one place, to be inspired, to go into action, to actively chase their dreams and make them come true. And in the process, while you chase your dream with us, while you're rating, while you're listening to this, while you're spending time with us, becoming the best version of you, learning from other people, adopting some of these new habits that can transform your life. While you're doing all that, we're also chasing the dream. We have big ambitions for DreamCat. We believe we're doing the opposite of everyone else. We know that we're doing something that's never been done before. We know that the special thing about DreamCat is, although we're this small cap unknown, what we are doing has been done by no one so far. We're the first mover. When you are the first mover, anything is possible. It all starts with some big crazy idea, some big dream. Someone had to be first. You know who was first to revolutionizing theme parks? Walt Disney. Guess what? 200 people denied him the funding to build Walt Disneyland. And guess what? He had already revolutionized cartoons. He had already built Mickey Mouse. He had already dropped Snow White and made $5 million on that. He did all that, and still 200 people denied them. So how can we expect here, when this is the idea, this is the beginning of something special, how can we expect all the people out there to just magically believe and buy? If you are listening to this, you have vision, or you've stumbled into luck. Like, I haven't seen Sain here before, so shout out to you and welcome. This may be your lucky day. You have a cat PFP. Maybe you saw another cat PFP. You're like, sunglasses. I'm just going to pull up. And now you have the chance to get yourself some dream tokens. Matter of fact, you can even win them. We're doing 3 giveaways today. We do them every single week. 10,000 dream each. Here's how you can win. First of all, you're already here. You got 12 minutes left. Comment on the stream, or comment if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Instagram. Hello, Jamie. I just looked over to Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or the other places to stream that I forgot, comment in the first 20 minutes and you'll be entered to win 10,000 dream. The other 2 ways to win are, I'm going to release a secret code phrase in the middle of this podcast. You got to be listening. If you catch it and you type it, you're entered. And third is MVP. We love the people who tap in for the whole show, listen actively, share thoughts, ideas that build onto the conversation. We love it. So there you have it. Okay. Now, with all that said, hey, Thurston Waffles, hi, dream, a little dream. You're a little sleepy, a little tired, dreaming too big. I saw your post today about feeling that you were focused and aligned, kind of like with your purpose. That's really exciting to me. I love to see that. So good for you. I'm glad you're finding your way in the cat world. And we got Mr. Scene here, and we got Sain here. Okay, guys, welcome. Thanks for dropping in and commenting. Anyone else, feel free to make your presence known. We appreciate you, and we want to give you the alpha. So here it is. We shall begin. I originally said the $1 million idea, and then I changed it to a few $1 million ideas because it can be twofold. Here's the rundown. Back in the day, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I told myself I had raw ambition. Let me take this down. I had raw ambition, and I said, I'm going to be a billionaire someday, right? I didn't know like exactly how it was going to happen. I didn't have the ideas. It even sounds kind of cringy saying it today as I'm further along in my maturity, right? Like, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people say that. Everyone says they're going to build $1 billion project. But nonetheless, I had that inspiration at a younger stage of life. And so what I did is I was like, well, I understand all great creations are just based on a great idea. All I really need is a great idea, and I can make this dream come true. So I was actively and openly living, aware, kind of tapping into my mind, right? Saying, what could be these $1 billion deals or $1 million ideas? Every time I had one that was somewhat over the money, I'd write it in my journal. And so there'd been phases where I'd come up with the $1 billion idea. One of them was, I think when I was working in 2018, 2019. One of them was in my biggest hardship. I was in the middle of my biggest battle and an idea came to me. And I've written these all down. And now I feel like I know exactly what I'm going to do, which is why I'm giving these away. So this was basically an idea that I had, a raw idea. I don't know how feasible it was, a raw idea that I had that now I say I don't have a use for, and I'm just going to share it today. So here it was. I had said, I was like, man, I'm so good at coming up with ideas. Like I literally have 100 business ideas. I have infinite ideas. I'm an idea machine. And meanwhile, there's other people out there in the world who have $1 million, $100 million, and they don't have a single thought running through their mind. They're like, man, I got all this money and I got no ideas. And so I was like, man, what if there could just be like a matchmaking service? Like it could be like the Idea Factory or something like that, right? So it's this website where Imagineers and the idea men and women of the world who get inspired inspiration and great ideas can come and exchange great ideas for funds or matchmake, right? Okay, you have $1 million. I have zero, but I have this really great idea. I just need some funding. Here's the idea. Let's get together on a 60-40 split, right? You get 60% of the business, I get 40, and we come together and merge these. So that was just like the overall idea of using this marketplace to connect dreamers, idea men with money or investors or whatever, right? And I'm gonna reference my notes now and go through exactly how I wrote it out, just to make sure I catch everything, because it just came out so flowingly the first time. Okay, yep, abundance of ideas, someone out there who needed some, and exchange, ideas for money. Okay, so let's just dive into this. There's many layers to this, but before I do that, I want to give a disclaimer. If I talked last week about a definite chief aim in life. In your life, your objective is to figure out your purpose. You have one. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just know that deep down you do have a purpose. Once you find your definite chief aim, or what you're supposed to be doing in life and where you're supposed to go, then this probably wouldn't apply. But the catch is that you may go another 30 years before you uncover this. And so this goes into the person who says, hey, for me, I'm just in crypto. I'm listening to this call right now to listen to what you have to say about $1 million ideas, because I really want $1 million right now. And if I wanted, like, that was the thing. If I didn't have this ambition to do X, I would just follow my own script. And I'd say there's 30 scripts. Like, there's so many variations of this that you can do. And that's what makes it powerful, is because I know a lot of people out there, a lot of people listening, they don't have this big idea. They don't have this huge change the world, whatever. They're just like, all I know is I work this job. I pay my mortgage. I take care of my kids, whatever. And dude, it's really boring. Dude, I hate it. This can be for you potentially. Or you can take the underlying purpose of this idea and hash it out. Okay. So that's the thing. If you got the chief aim, then this may not be for you. But if you are totally unsure, it could take you to the next step. And of course I scrolled down. Okay. So let's start with this. Here's the concept. Take an entry-level job. What we're going to be doing is the opposites. What's up, Michael? What's up, One Roof NYC? All we're going to be doing, this $1 million principle, is kind of what we're doing in Dream. The opposites. The opposites is the way. Everyone moves in one direction. The best way to get noticed is to move in the other. And so that is what we're going to apply. This is how we're building DreamCat. Again, I just said we're a first mover. So here it is. Take an entry-level job. This is the first example. You just got out of college, or you've been working like a retail job, let's say at Best Buy or Walmart, and you finally broke in and now you're going to work this office job. Okay. So you get the entry-level job. Take an entry-level job and do it with excellence and exclusivity, right? So like, it's your all in, it's your everything obsession. Many people take these jobs all the time and they treat them like nothing, right? Oh, I got this entry level job, but I'm just the front desk assistant. I don't have any like important, they don't put me on the big ideas. They just tell me to go buy the coffee, I'm just going to clock in a few minutes early, a few minutes late. whatever. They say something, you do it 20 minutes later. Okay. You kind of half-heartedly do it. A lot of people do. They're in this job and, oh, it's a nothingness job. So while I'm doing this job, I'm going to go check out my Facebook. I'm going to go to the bathroom and stay in there for 20 minutes and go on my phone. This is what everyone does. This is the opportunity. And as soon as everyone wakes up, the opportunity is gone. So you're in this entry-level job, whatever it is for you, year one, you're starting there. You could even do it. You could just change everything. If you've been there for 10 years, change everything and watch what happens. So everyone does one thing, and you do it with your gusto, with your all. If you are, and it goes even layer, but it goes even deeper. Okay, so you're the front desk office. Now you show up 30 minutes early every single day. 30 minutes early. You're like, why would I show up 30 minutes early? I don't get paid for that. They don't pay me for that. That's what everyone says. That's your problem. No one does the above and beyond. That's the loser thinking. They don't pay me for that. So many people, oh, they don't pay me for that. I ain't doing that. You want me to pay? That sounds bad. You want me to do overtime and yada, yada, yada. They don't pay me for that. Everyone's like that. That's the problem. So you go extreme. You show up 30 minutes early. You're the last person to leave the office. You choose to buy the coffee with your own money. Maybe you buy donuts every Friday with your own money for the office. You do everything with a smile. You are abundantly helping in everything that you do. You do all of your tasks that you have to do, and maybe you can do them in 8 hours. And because you're so locked in, you do them in 5. And with the remaining 3 hours, you think about all the problems that you observe in the office, and you write up 10 ideas on how to solve these problems. And eventually you present them to the boss, right? That would be an example in an entry level, but let's even take it a little bit further. Let's say you are in a retail job. You work at Walmart. You bag groceries at Dollar Tree, whatever it is. What's up, Caleb? You do any of these things, same exact thing. You become the best grocery bagger in the world. You're like, but how do I do that? It's easy. Most people who are a grocery bagger, I go to the grocery store. Oh, they're having conversations. They're ignoring me. They're looking down at their phone. They're bagging the eggs with the red bloody meat that could connect into each other. And it's just messing everything up. Thanks, Caleb. I appreciate it. It's messing everything up. Like, God, they don't even know what they're doing. But imagine the MVP grocery bagger, right? Every time at Publix, there's a store out in the South. It's in the Carolinas. It's in Florida. It's called Publix. At Publix, after you check out, they say, hey, could I come to your car with you and help you unload this, right? They give that above and beyond service. Imagine you work at Walmart and if you get the okay from your boss, you offer up that service every single time. If it's raining, if it's pouring rain and it's snowing and it's 30 degrees and they say, oh, we need someone to get carts, they should know that they can count on you to get carts, because you always get carts because you go above and beyond. And they will put you in that role. They'll say, oh, let's just ask Caleb. I don't know what you're doing these days, Caleb, but let's just ask Caleb. Caleb is the MVP. He always does it. Okay. You let people know you're bagging. Hey, oh man, don't worry. I put your eggs over here. I double knotted your sushi, because I know sometimes in the cart, that sushi tips over. You got the slice of cake, the frosting and the cupcakes. Just don't worry. That's why I double bagged it. And I'd even be willing to bring it out to the car. You do it with a smile. Matter of fact, you actually tell jokes. Okay. You're like, whoa. This is too much. Well, that's the thing. Maybe you just want to be one bagger like the other 100 million baggers who work for that minimum pay. So step one is do the opposites. Treat simple. That sounds bad. I'm not trying to be offensive. Every job matters in some way. But look, there's a difference between being CEO and bagging groceries, right? I think everyone can make that variation. So if a job is taken that most people write off is entry level, is I'm too good to do this. I have my bachelor's degree. I'm not going to bag groceries. The ego, right? You throw all that away. And now you approach that job that other people see as simple entry level, and you treat it with professionalism. What if you dressed up as the bagger? What if your shoes shined and your laces were tied perfectly? It's the entire image. Your hair is perfectly groomed. Your beard doesn't have a single stray hair because you've meticulously groomed it. And they would never guess you're the bagger because you call everyone sir and ma'am, you shake hands, you carry yourself a step above. All of these things are accessible to you, most for free, right? I'm not saying you need $1 million loan to do this. I'm saying you do simple jobs with excellence. You bring some level of extraordinary to that position. Now that's just part one, because doing all that, there's a breakdown of how this is going to work, basically how you can crack the code and how this is going to work. Okay. Let me look over my notes one more time. But if this is good, you let me know. If it's crap, I know nobody's here, right? They all left. It was terrible, or it doesn't apply to them. If it is good, do me a favor and retweet and share it out. I've taken notes of everyone who said hello for that first giveaway in the first 20 minutes. 20 minutes is up. So we have a few people down there. I'll do that giveaway. I'm going to do them all at once at the end, all the giveaways at once. Okay, so let me make sure I got everything. Okay, you do the opposites. Many take entry level with little care. They call off, they half-ass, they clock out a few minutes early, they have an attitude, they roll their eyes, or they do everything great, but they focus on other things. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to be a great bagger, but 5 o'clock, got to go because I'm working on my dream. The principle here is different. You give it all. You put it all into this, okay? Okay, I covered the Walmart. If you work at the gas station, I'm going to be the best in the world. Now, there's a second thing that you need to do. A second thing. I'm going to give you more examples. So smile 24/7. Thank your customers for shopping with you. Get to know them on a personal basis. If you're that front desk assistant, you could learn the birthdays. You could learn, so-and-so died. I'm going to spend my own money to send their family flowers. Okay. Crazy thought. You shouldn't do that. You're not paid to do that, but I'm going to tell you how it evolves. Okay. So you could do those things. You could offer to take things to their car. You could pick up the trash. That's another one. Take a CEO point of view and apply it to your entry-level job. When I listen to Andy Frisella, right, the CEO, or really anyone, my aunt, she runs a resort up in Minnesota, and they would always be like picking up cigarette butts and little pieces of trash. That's the owner mentality. The employee would never do that. But if you treated Walmart or Target like the CEO would, who owns stock in it, how would you move differently? Imagine you spend 30 minutes each day before your shift starts in the parking lot picking up trash. Eventually, security is going to see those cameras. It may take 20 days, 30, 90. It doesn't matter how long it takes them to notice. Good efforts over time eventually get on the radar. Just imagine if you did that. Imagine if every piece of trash or little thing that you saw on the floor, you just chose to pick up. This is an excellence mentality, okay? So that's available to you. That's something that, man, you would stand out like a sore thumb, okay? So now, the second bit of this, though, is, okay, you do these things. Now that means you're kind of relying on your boss, right? If you're doing all these things of excellence, you're relying on a few people. You're relying on customers who come in the store, who run a business and say, dude, you are a stellar guy. I want to hire you, man. What's your contact information? That's one. You meet someone incredible, like, dude, why are you working here? You got what it takes. You work for me. So someone else notices your greatness and they pluck you out of the scene. That's one way. Second way is the boss, the management. Man, I mean, we've been having Jerry. He's been working here for 10 years. You've done more in 2 months than I've seen Jerry do in 10 years. And when that assistant manager role comes up, guess who's going to get the call? You. So you can fly your way up the ladder. That's another way. In record time, climb from zero all the way up the ladder to the big money, the corporate way. But the second nugget of this is, if you don't want to rely on who's around you to uplift you, and you have said ability, you take control yourself. Most people right now, what I'm trying to do alongside of Dreamcat is build a brand, right? So I'm putting out Dreamcat. He's the most successful cat in the world. I neglected my social medias and I said, okay, now I got to try to go on my social medias, create content, put things out, and build there to bring more people to Dreamcat. That's part of the plan, right? Well, Most people do that in the traditional form of things. Oh, I have a podcast. I sell some course. I'm an online coach. But imagine if you built a personal brand around being a bagger. Imagine if you built a personal brand around being the ice cream scooper at Baskin Robbins. Guess who's kind of done this? The guy who works for Papa John's. Have you seen this guy? Have you seen him on TikTok? He's the entry level. He's actually done this. I didn't even think of that. He's actually done this. He's done what I'm saying right now. The guy at Papa John's basically whipped out his phone and he made the simplistic thing that everyone else thought, oh, it's just spinning a pizza. I want to be the manager. It's just, making a pizza, rolling the dough, simplistic, basic things. I want to learn how to be a manager, right? He embraced it fully with a smile, with charm, and with content. The third wild card here is you become a content creator within a seemingly like entry level thing that people don't care about. So you treat a grocery bagger at Walmart as if you're a best-selling author, right? This is my website. You can go to my website, johnbagsgroceries.com. Go to my website. Well, why do you have a website? Just check out my website, right? And you do cameos because because you do social media videos. You become a personality about how well you bag these groceries, and now people like you. Like, how about there was a kid, this ages me. You got to be like a 90s baby to understand this, but there was a kid, I think named Alex from Target, and he was considered this like hunky Justin Bieber looking kid. He went viral. He went on Ellen. That's an example. People liked him. People wanted to talk to him. People wanted their, young tween daughter who thought he was cute to talk with him. So he could say, hey, on Cameo, I'll say happy birthday to your daughter, right? So you treat this task like bagging groceries and you build a brand around it. You make a website, you write articles, 5 keys to bagging groceries like a pro, 10 secrets to elite bagging and customer service. Some people will think this is a joke. Some people will find this laughable. Some people will see your genius and different things will start to happen. The world will respect your authority in a sense because of how you carry yourself. You treated something menial as an expertise level professional thing. Content, that's the thing. So that would be how you take it into your own hands. Not everyone has the ability to do that, but if you do, you could do it while you're walking into work, while you're walking out, immediately after, in your car. You could wear your uniform. If all those things are allowed, you can do that too. And stay with me if you're like, I don't work an entry-level job. I've been running my business or this. You can still apply any idea here. What we're really talking about here is massive action. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a form of massive action combined with doing the opposites. Doing the opposites is a dynamic. It's smart. Earl Nightingale says the masses are always wrong. If you can be ahead and go in the opposite direction before they do, that's how you get ahead. Guess who didn't follow the rules? Elon Musk. Guess who didn't follow the rules? Bill Gates. Okay? He was working on computers at like 13 years old, sneaking out of his house to go to the computer lab. What a nutcase. That's burning desire. That's extremism. So you dream about being a millionaire. We're not even talking about billionaire right now. We're talking about millionaire. When you start up very, very high, like billionaire, and you bring it down a few notches, you realize, how could you not reach that $1 million goal? When you're thinking about all the people you're competing with, 99% of them will never do this. So I'm speaking to a lot of people who say they want to be free. Maybe you're trying it here in crypto. Maybe you think you're going to spend $10 on the next mooner and make it. Maybe you really will. If you have the beliefs, if you have the right positioning and time, I think Dreamcat's a special place to be. But there are others for sure. You can take the even quicker route. Okay. But that's out there. So now, okay, you make the personal brand. You do that, yada, 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 yada. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. I think I already teased this. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, let me tell you something else. Part of what I'm sharing with you here, and again, I forgot to mention that this is a Dreamers University episode. This is a special series where we're giving above and beyond alpha. When it's done, we'll do a little bit more general, but this is above and beyond. These lessons are coming with a combination of what's happened to me in real life like 8 times, a lot. And here it comes. So when you do these things that I instructed, right? When you go above and beyond, you get noticed, you build your brand. Here's what's going to happen. A couple things. Number one, I already mentioned, you're going to be promoted internally at record speeds. Tons of people want a raise. People ask for a raise all the time. They want to be promoted. Here you go. I just told you how. If you do these things, you will be promoted internally at record speeds. So there's the hack. Continue the system and you have an in. You can climb the ladder. You can become the vice president, the CEO in 10, 15, 20 years instead of 45 or never. Okay, there you go. Number 2, since you're sharing what you do, people want you. They will offer to hire you. They will pay you much more. I already said that, right? Forget about all this grocery bagging stuff. You're going to work at my business. You've never done sales. It doesn't matter. I'm going to train you. So now I'm talking to the people who say, oh, I didn't have the mommy and daddy money. I didn't get to go to college. I had to grind my way in high school. I could never afford college. I don't have this college degree. You don't understand. These people all have the advantage. They won't hire someone like me. I've applied for 40 jobs. No one calls me back. You're not thinking. That's your problem, man. Everyone's a victim. And if you just step in the other lane, there is no victimhood. Like you can just do these things. I hope it makes sense to you. So that's number 2. You're going to catch the eyes of other people and they will try to hire you. But here's number 3. And this is a hard decision that you have to make if you take this route. If you make up your mind using the grocery bagger, best grocery bagger in the world, if you make up your mind to become the best grocery bagger in the world, you will have to deny all these opportunities. In the pursuit of something great, many opportunities will be presented your way. That's the reality of it. And I just gave you the surface level, starting to build a brand, get some traction, get noticed, but it goes deeper how you can really stack it out and tap into the big money, right? So what I just said is extremely interesting. This has happened to me. I tried to get a job. Well, I guess I've tried to get a job a few times. I usually got every job I applied for. I had some menial jobs leading up to college. And then after college, I applied for a few jobs and I got one. Along the way, this is my hack. If you want to get hired, just start your own thing. If you want to get hired, just start chasing your own dreams. And that's how you get a job. You'll never have to apply. People will throw jobs at you. In the midst of doing multiple things, like, okay, network marketing, I did that for a while. I just tried that, wrote my own book, just did that. No one gave me permission, right? Started Dreamcat, no one gave me permission. People say, dude, you would be like, I don't want to say that, but people see when you've displayed yourself for your own thing, people see that and they try to pluck you. I've had people at events know, oh, you work for so-and-so, come, I want to buy you dinner. They say, dude, come work for me. That's happened to me. Someone else saw me, but dude, you should be, I'm going to give you all my stuff. I want to be your manager, blah, blah, blah. Like the girl in the city, I was trying to get in touch with Tony Robbins. The first day I did that, a girl came up to me and said, screw Tony Robbins. We should make you Tony Robbins. I want you to work with me and we're going to make all this money. That's it. That's how you get a job, is chase your dream. And the people will actually come to you and they're going to try to pull you away. And this is the really hard part. Going back to what I said in the beginning, do you know your definite purpose? Maybe it's easier when you're working at Walmart to decline working in an insurance agency or something. But how hard is it when you say, I have the dream to build the largest community of dreamers in the world. We want to stick with this for a decade. And then we get to year 5 and someone says, listen, I'll give you $3 million to come work for me. $3 million a year. You got to say, man, I've never made $3 million a year before. That could change everything. And that's what happens to 95% of other people along the way, is there's for sale. They have a price, right? So they get high enough the ladder and they say, listen, you got a great thing going. You're talking to all the dreamers. I'll pay you $1 million to post this one post about Kamala Harris being president, right? You got to decide, are you for sale? Damn, $1 million for one post? I used to dream of making $1 million in my whole life. And now for one post, they're going to pay me $1 million. But do I believe in that? Do I agree with that? And that's going to be another tough question, right? But that's the thing. As you climb, you will be pulled away. So all that matters though is that if you have a low opportunity now, low pay, not that great, not a great opportunity, this is how you can guarantee leverage out and expand and get to that, like, gosh, like if I quit everything I did right now and I go and I got a job at Publix, I know I could do this and blow up, but it doesn't, time would be lost. And that's what's so hard is if you have your core mission, there's so many ways. I've been telling you guys, I told you this 8 episodes. If you want to make money, just listen to this, right? Do the online courses, do something in AI and make 6 figures each year. Like there are opportunities around. But the reason why what I'm saying is so profound is because so many people are miserable and hate what they do. Maybe you're not one, but a lot of people say, my job sucks. I want to get rich. And they're practicing escapism in life. So you should do this. You should do this. Okay, let's continue on. So here's where it gets juicier. And I had more examples. I said you can do this as a pizza delivery driver. You can do this as a receptionist as long as the boss is cool with it. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. Now, here's the way that you can monetize it further, because I've said what I've said so far. You want to be the best grocery bagger in the world. You want to be the best receptionist in the world. You've done that. You're good. You're spending out of your own money, but your money's running out. The boss sees you. He said, good job, but you didn't get a huge raise yet. You started making the TikTok and the content and you got 20,000 followers, but you have nothing yet. That's where you have to take a little bit more of like a business-minded step, right? But what you did is you gathered attention. You gathered attention, and now this is where you can do a number of things. You launch a product. You have the viewership, you have the identity, and now you launch some kind of project. It could be t-shirts. It could be if you're the best grocery bagger in the world, it could be grocery bagger pins, right? That are overpriced for like $14.99 and they cost you a quarter a piece. And it says like best grocery bagger in the world. And the other grocery baggers, it becomes this tribe, this sign, like it's this popular thing, like whatever that pin says. It could be some kind of like mock of some kind, like people wear I feel like people at the grocery store wear these aprons of some kind, if they work in the bakery or something. It could be custom that, whatever fits the line. It could be a hat, it could be t-shirts. But once you get there and you're gonna stand out, you're doing what no one's doing, then you throw out something like this. Okay, I'm gonna make t-shirts and I'm gonna sell them on my social, right? I'm just gonna put them out there. I don't know how to do it. You figure these things out along the way. So you say, hey, t-shirts about this. Boom. The other thing that's gonna happen, the other way you'll make money and how it's $1 million idea is as you get more and more attention, this stuff, shout out to my OG barber, this stuff is going to expand. So more and more attention, people are going to come to you now for brand opportunities. This is what happens in the real world. When you start getting a following, they say, hey man, you got 100,000 followers. They all love vacationing. I'll pay you $10,000 to stay at my hotel for free and make a video review, right? Because people love you and whatever. Or I'll pay you to come to my grocery store. You work at Publix right now, and you do this for $15 an hour, I'll actually pay you a salary. I want you to come work at Mariano's private grocer, my private grocery store. We're going to blow you up, kid. Okay. We're going to blow you up. I'm going to pay you $150K a year and you're going to work for me and we're going to do full on content. They see the opportunity, right? There's infinite doors. But the other opportunity is if you get big enough and you stay focused, you got to stay locked in. If you want to be the best grocery bagger in the world, just decide that and go all into that. People are going to come along and say, look, your social media is huge. You're killing it. Like, I love your videos. I've seen your videos. I want to pay you $50K to do this. And that is the other way that you would climb. So even if you only continue to work, if you don't get the promotion, if you don't get hired away by someone else and you stay your own person and you're not making money on social media, you just commit to become the best at what you do. So you stay at the $15 an hour for 3, 4, 5 years, but all the while you're building. Over time, this will expand. I know this can be extremely valuable to someone because there's a million people. You see them online. Man, I've been working at Wendy's for 30 years and they just sent me I saw that story. They sent me a goodie bag with some suckers in it and, a drawstring backpack that's $15. I've been working here for 30 years. People made a GoFundMe for that guy. They gave him $100,000, right? Because they're like, dude, you're deserving. That's pathetic. These bosses and employers and all these places, a lot of times I feel like they take these people for granted. And it's easy to do when everyone conforms to average. So this is a life principle in itself. When you play for extraordinary instead of average, you garner a whole new level of attention. Yes, you could do what you're paid to do and hit that level of task or, standard. But when you go beyond, all the magic happens. All the magic happens. And so those are the ideas that I've had before. I've said, I'll just rapid fire some more ideas if you just got here. I said, man, if I wanted to start if I had no ideas on what I wanted to do, and it was just like, I want to make money online and be an influencer. Okay, here's some more for you. Because like Prince, for example, Prince, you're not here this week. This could have been for you, bro. Prince recently just started a TikTok. So did I. I made my TikTok yesterday. I posted one TikTok. I got 0 views. I have 0 followers. I have a few TikToks with 7,000 followers, 1,000, starting from scratch. And this time I'm just going the distance. Okay. He started his TikTok recently because he wants to make money on TikTok. Dream Chaser, who was with us before, he made money on TikTok. He still does TikTok. There's the simple ways that you see: make little dance videos, play a song, get views, get attention. But here's an idea. A themed TikTok channel. You could do this for like 20 of them, 20 different themed TikTok channels. They'd all work. How about this one? I love ice cream, right? You guys know that. If you're following me on Instagram, by the way, quick plug, because now I'm on day 3 of posting on Instagram, like 6, 7, 8, more than that, like 6, 7, 8, 9 posts a day that you guys don't see in the dream community. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, there's more dream content and more behind the scenes. I'll plug that here. My IG is Corrupt Sanity. So I just started making content again, right? Okay. So here's an idea for you. You get an ice cream cone. I love ice cream. I got 4 things of ice cream today. That's what I was going to show you. You buy ice cream cones from the store. You get them and you say some kind of simple catchphrase. Oh boy, ice cream. I love ice cream. And every time you go to take the first lick, you sneeze. Okay. So like, oh boy, I love ice cream. I can't wait to try some. Hachoo. And it falls on the ground. And then you play and you flash over to some song. That TikTok could be 14 or 15 seconds long. You make a TikTok like that twice a week, 3 times a week, where every time you buy an ice cream cone, cheap entry, right? McDonald's, you can get one for $1.50. You buy the ice cream cone, you go to eat it, and somehow you catastrophically get lost with it. I know this is a kind of corny example where I'm embarrassing myself, but you go to get the ice cream, like, is that a bee? Oh my God, a bee. You run around, you throw your ice cream cone, and then you play that little song, wah, 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 whatever it is, okay? That's with ice cream. You could do that with food. This is something that I don't think is classy to do, so maybe I wouldn't recommend it, but I've seen it. You go order food at the mall, you pretend to slip on an ice cube, and it all flies in the air. And you have someone else with you, your brother, your sister, your homie. They record you. You put those on TikTok. You're going to go viral. So even if you just want to be a TikTok creator with an idea that blows up and get a 1 million person following, if you can get $1 from 1 million people, there's your $1 million idea. If you can get $5 from 50,000 people? Is that the correct math? $5 from 200,000 people. If you can get $10 from 100,000, whatever the math is, okay? Lower and lower and lower. Don't judge my math. You get the idea. There you go, $1 million idea. So there's infinity of those ideas. So simple that you can apply. Now, what I do in this is I say, okay, here's these ideas. We talk about them. It's Dream Talk. The reason why we share them here in relation to Dream Cat is we say we can apply them to crypto, right? Can we apply what we just shared to crypto? Well, yes, we can. It wouldn't be maybe so much in a consumer point of view, but I would say if you're a project dev, which I know we have a few developers come in and listen to us, you can apply this. What are we doing? We are applying exactly what I said. We just haven't implemented it fully yet. Because if you're building a project and you want to last 2 decades and build something great, you got to have a sustainable foundation built, right? So Amos, shout out to Amos. He shared out some things earlier. Boom, 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 boom. We had to get a trademark. We had to build the Dreamers Library, the PDF Shill, the Cat Collective. Boom, boom, boom. They're done now. They're done. They're over with. Okay, now we move forward. What we're doing here is we're taking something and we're applying a whole different mentality. And we're doing it right here live. That's what DreamCat's doing. And if I explain this to you, all of this, here's how it's still valuable to you. If you're a crypto person out there, if you're an investor, now you can say, okay, what you said, I'd have to go do my own research. I'd have to do proof to see if you're just saying things or if what you said actually works, or if there's any proof of this, or if I can find any books. I have another example that just came in my head. I'm going to write down. The was art, chauffeur, hotel, car valet. Okay, so if you're thinking, I got to put this to the test, I'm not so sure. Okay, cool. But if you figure out it works, now you can apply this strategy to Web3. Can you use this to say, who am I going to potentially invest in? What I see in the markets right now is everyone goes for not what I'm talking about, right? They go for what's the next runner? The next runner is in. Tell me the next runner. That's what everyone cares about. Matter of fact, that's the keyword. The keyword is runner. If you are listening to this live, you've clearly heard the word. I'll say it again in a minute just to remind you. That is the keyword for giveaway number 2, 10,000 Dream. If you're listening to this live right now, no matter where you're listening for, comment runner and you'll be entered to win 10,000 DreamCat tokens. Okay? Keyword is runner. That's what's in style. Runners. Show me the next runner. Show me the next pump. Okay? What's hot? What's new? How else does the meme coin space work, or crypto overall? You go on spaces and people are hostility, cussing each other out, cutting each other down, hating on each other. You're a scammer. No, you're a scammer. Toxic. What do we post about? Just degen level stuff, right? People post about racist coins. People post about sexual stuff. There's poo coin. There's degen stuff. It exists. Everything in meme coins is short term. It's a miracle if you last 2 years. If you last 2 years, you're likely one of the big winners. No one who's a micro cap like DreamCat is last 2 years. What's the point? You're not making any money, right? If we're not making any money, what's the point of being here? It's vision. It's bigger than a chart. All meme coins today are based on volume, holders, chart, short-term attention, narrative, all fleeting things. So what we just shared, we can apply here to meme coins and DreamCat is, what if you just do the opposite? What if instead of trying to take everyone's money, dump, make some scam, be short-lived, play for the short term, you did the complete opposite? Oh, it wouldn't be fast. It wouldn't be immediate. It can be. We haven't got to do what the grocery bagger does yet. We're just building the pieces. But we're getting the closest we've ever been to saying, okay, it's time to be the grocery bagger. And it's time to get out there and let's just put in the work, right? Everyone puts in 10 raids a day. Let's do 100 raids a day. Or I'm going to do 100 replies every single day. Over a year, things are going to happen. It may be with a whole new gang, but things will happen with the believers. So it can still be applied to crypto. You can use this as a way to invest in a wild card. Who is doing the opposites? DreamCat, we pride ourselves here on. We are a first mover. We're trying to do something that's never been done before. We're taking action. We've planted our flag. Boom. It's done. It's in motion. Amazing. Opposites. The masses, you always want to move in the opposite direction. I want to tell you the other example in case you don't believe mine because I never took it far enough. This guy did. I told you guys last week, if you listened, there is a book. I wanted to bring it. It's in my room, so I'm not going to get it, but I remembered the scene from the book. This book is about a guy from 1930, 40, 50 something. He was this awesome guy, and he just found his way in life, playing on his own terms, doing what he loved. He had a similar idea. Like I said, I shared my ideas with you before. This was my idea, but then his idea Actually, no, I wrote this idea down 5-6 months ago. But I read in this book 2 weeks ago from him, and he said, this is what happened to him, true story. I worked as a car valet. He worked at a fancy hotel as a car valet. People pull up, they give him the keys, he parks the car. He said, I am going to be the best car valet there ever is. But he also was given intuition. He said, Something's just telling me not to take any tips. This is another example. If you're in an industry that gives tips, it could be a restaurant. Here's how you flip it all upside down. A restaurant, car valet, the casino. Yeah, honestly, this would be a really good thing to do in a high-end place, like work at a steakhouse, work at a 5-star restaurant. And when people try to give you tips, reject tips. And when they ask why, they can say, because I love what I do and I already receive a salary. I love what I do and I already get paid. There's no need. You will explode people's minds. That 5-star businessman who's coming to eat at so-and-so steakhouse says, we got a $200 meal. I know this guy's making $10 an hour. I tried to just give him $100 and he said, no, this guy's, what do you do, my friend? What do you do, my friend? What do you, give me your, what you do social media? Yeah, I have a website, you know, best hostess, best, what are the people called who take your order at the restaurant? Best waitress in the world, best waiter in the world.com. I'm going to look that up. Okay. So you do that opposite thing. So he was doing that. Car Valet. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to take tips. It's this crazy idea. People are throwing money. You want money and you reject it. So he did this. He went above and beyond. The story said, this is how old it was. He said, you know, customers needed something. He would wake up at 3 a.m. to get fresh cow's milk for this hotel customer. He would carry their bags. He would work on his off day. He worked so crazily and intensely, fully overworked and underpaid theoretically. I don't remember how long it took, a year, 2 years. He did this. And he rejected these tips, and people of influence who he was around, they were enamored by this. They were fascinated with him. They became to love him. He became their favorite person. It said that, I think he was like, I don't know if he was an orphan or not, but 3 families tried to adopt him in this 2-year phase. So he was around wealth and riches, made a really good impression, showed really high character, really high class. These things are all free for you. Character, class, manners, personal excellence, picking up things on the ground, free. Books, library, free. Knowledge, internet, free. Podcast, as long as you got internet, free. So 3 families tried to adopt him. Other families said, man, we want you to come on our boat, you know, come hang out with us. The hotel said, we don't allow our employees to mingle with our, you know, guests. And they said, that's your biggest mistake. If you don't let me do this, I'm never coming to the hotel again. And so they let him do that. Well, the story went, he was doing this, but then again, remember I said there's create a service, create a social media. If you don't want to be pushed up by the valet hotel, you got to give yourself an opportunity. So what he did is he did his passion. While he was working this job on the side, he started creating art. He liked art. Sculptures, paintings. I don't even know if he was good. I didn't look at it, but that's what was his passion. And when you give extreme value to the world, when you give extreme value in the job, in the service, people naturally feel indebted to you, right? You see this on Web3. You like my post, I'll like your post. You follow me, I'll follow you back. You PPP, you retweet my stuff, I'll retweet your stuff. Thanks M Network for the retweet. I commented on their stuff today. They've retweeted us before. Thanks. Retweeted Turbo stuff today. Turbo, I appreciate the love you show us. PPP, player pump player, right? Okay. So they did this. He helped all these people. He served all these people and rejected the simple, forthright offer, the $50, the $20. And so because he did this, they naturally felt in debt and they wanted to pay him back. And as soon as they got an opportunity, they had no problem doing so. So it said, actually, I remember now, it was over the course of a summer, I think, like a year going into a summer. And he I don't know what he was paid, like some low wage, like $2, $5, just way back when. And he started making art that was maybe $150, $200, $250, something like that. Pieces as high as $800. He sold out everything to these people. And it said in that summer, he made like $3,000 or something, when what you normally would have made if he took all the tips was like $200 or $300. So he made 10 times the amount by living in this way. But that wasn't his final destination. That was just 1 year and 1 summer. So again, if you don't know your purpose and your dream, you can apply this now for that one. You don't know what you're doing anyway. You're just making money. Time to step up, get extreme, put this to the test. Put it at play. This is a variation of dream chasing because you can get yourself to the next level. You can buy yourself the year of freedom to chase your dream. You can uncover the way to go to the next level. That's something for you, right? Or maybe not, right? Maybe you don't think so. So he did all that. And the way he lived his life, this went on and on. So like he got known for art, and then he did a really good job over here. And one of these high clientele said, oh, you need to work for so-and-so who was a president. Then at one point in his life, he found himself in the White House doing a sculpture for some president, and he had no formal training in art. And so this guy, they wrote the book about him. I read it about him because it said he basically uncovered like the secrets of the universe. And I think, I don't want to misquote this. That's why I was supposed to get the freaking book. I'm pretty sure he said the number one thing, which I also just read in Think and Grow Rich today, reviewed, was desire. I think he said that was the number one key. So Tony Robbins, here's a little personal development vomit for you. Tony Robbins says the number one key to success, the number one predicator to decide if someone's going to be successful or not is their hunger. That's Tony Robbins says number one. Napoleon Hill says the number one predicator for success is desire. The man or woman who has desire for what they truly want. You say you have a dream. How bad do you want what you say you want? That's why you can't, again, going back, this is why your dream can't be being financially free. I want to be financially independent. Where's the desire in that? I want some more money. Okay, here's $1. Run along now. You got exactly what you wanted, right? More money. This is why you got to have specificity. This is why you have to know your desire. Okay, you got to know what you want. You got to know what you want in crypto. What's your goal here? You want to make $100,000? You want to make $1 million? Maybe you should be playing for the next decade instead of this cycle trying to get rich all at once. What's your game plan? What do you want? What's your target? So Napoleon Hill said desire. And I'll see if I stand corrected. I'll bring it next week. I'm pretty sure he said the number one key for him is desire. If you tell the world what you want, if you focus your energy, your emotions on these things, it has a way of kind of coming to pass. So this guy found a way to maneuver all the way through life on his terms, never working a traditional job. He just found ways to give value and be of service and apply some of these different ways of thinking. And he was like mega successful. Like when the book ended, he had everything. He's like, I got 10 houses, 2 farms, all these horses. Like this dude started from the bottom. And so that's a long ramble. That's a long thing. But I know for a fact there's value in it, because what do we say about Dreamcat? Everyone has a dream. Everyone has something that they want, that they desire, and we're all in different situations. Some people were given the silver spoon. Some people have $10,000 to invest. Some people have $10, right? There's all different situations. But if you are someone who has a dream, what's really exciting about what we're doing here is we're simply showing you the whole point of this entire series. This is a clap back, so to speak, to everyone who said, I can't chase my dream because I don't have the money. That's what I hear everywhere I go. I need money to make my dream come true. Everyone says that. It's true and it's not true. Yes, you do need money. I need money to make my dreams come true. But there's many other things you can do first. And that's the purpose of this whole series of the Dreamers University. So if that's your intention, surely you're not in crypto just for giggles and fun. Everyone came in some form for money. So before the money even arrives through your investment, can you take control of your own life now and execute on that? That's what gets me excited. That's what I'm trying to say, is that if you're here dreaming with us, chasing your dream, now you don't have to wait for, man, I hope Dreamcat goes to the moon. I went all in on it and I hope and I pray. You know, I think it will. I believe in the dream. I believe in the future. But now when you're taking control of your own life, the dream is that before that even happens, you make it on your own at a level that you couldn't even imagine, where you can buy up the whole entire dream supply. Because that's what we're doing here. That's my magnet to anyone who's listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Facebook. That's my magnet for the dream community. Everyone has a dream. 93% of people aren't going to make it come true. And we are here, whether you're one of those who's not going to make it or is going to make it, we're here for the dreamer. We hope to take you to the next level. We hope to introduce you to personal development. We hope to introduce you to the idea that you can create your own future, that you can create your dream life, that you hold the cards in your deck. This is your life. You have the power. You could join a great community. You could be a supporting role. You could be the CEO. There's a number of of games to play. But that's why we're doing what we're doing. We want to uplift dreamers. We want to show them what's possible. We want to give them the outlet to come and to dream and take things to the next level. Okay? I hope that was useful. That's part one. I didn't see too many comments today, so it could have been not universally fitting to everyone as much as normal, but I know I dropped alpha, and if it can help one, that is a win. But let's see if people caught... Dang, no one caught the keywords? Let me see. No one caught the keywords. All right. Let me check. Let me double check. Jin King says, let's hear those $1 million ideas. Did you catch any, Jin? I'm not sure what you do actually. Are you like a full-time trader? I don't know for sure. The coolest cat in crypto. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, sir. Iggy. Man, thanks for the share. M Network, big love. Retweeted that. Okay, so it looks like giveaway number 2. No one caught giveaway number 2. I said the keyword was runner. No one typed the keyword runner. Okay, so let's read a few of these comments. We got Thurston Waffles says, people notice when you go above and beyond and bring passion to everyday events. Yes, they do, Thurston. You are someone who goes above and beyond. You wear your heart on your sleeve. And so you are actually applying this ideology in what you do. You are making yourself stand out from everyone else by being so transparent and vulnerable. That's one of your superpowers. That's why you have an edge. I already put you ahead of 75% of people automatically just on your vulnerability, because I'm vulnerable, but not that vulnerable. I don't think anyone will ever catch me crying on a stream or something like that. You have, I say this respect, you have balls, man. So it's your, like, people respect you for it. I'm one of them. I'm like, man, I couldn't do that, but I'm attracted to your vulnerability, your transparency. It makes you come off as like trustworthy. Or I say like, man, Thurston, and by the way, since he shows up, if people listen back to these, I listened to one a few weeks ago. I was shouting out Thurston there too. He's just in all the examples because he comments a lot. So what was I getting at? I don't know. It's going to pay off for him. It shines through, et cetera, et cetera. Raylan, thanks for being here, man. I know you enjoy the streams. I appreciate your support. You made that legendary comment the other day. I shared it on my Instagram. It made me feel good. Let me know how I can help you, man. You send me so much love. Now I want to like give love back to you, right? It's that reciprocity. You showed me love that like your own closest friends, you almost can't even pay to get that love, right? If you're like, hey man, say something nice about me. Like they'll be like, oh, Zach's a nice friend. And you're out here like gassing me up, sharing it. That's the kind of like, that is, you can't even pay for that. That's just like, and now it's like, man, well, dang, shout out to Raylan. What do you need, man? Let me know. I wanna help you. Now, if Raylan came to me and was like, dude, I'm trying to chase this dream. Could you, can I talk to you for 20 minutes? I'd be like, how could I not, man? You've shown me so much love. Absolutely, I will. It's worth the time, right? That's almost like the law in motion. Sat the Cat, what's up, dude? You've been showing us love lately too. It's not going unnoticed. I hope we can, I don't know, maybe this was of value to you. I hope. I appreciate that. I see you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Whether it's in English or Spanish, you may be good friends with Libre here. He occasionally retweets some stuff in Spanish as well. But I see you're a cat fan. I'm pretty sure you're friends with Cats the Crypto. You got a cat PFP there with sunglasses. He looks kind of orange and tabby like. Oh, we're on the same wave. Gotta love that. Thank you for that. Thurston. Awesome, man. You're welcome. Okay, so that's the first bit off the jump. Let's move forward. What do we got? We got the chart. We got the quote of the day. Do we have any updates to share? Mostly just personal updates. For Dreamcat, we made the music bot last week or 2 weeks ago. I made a TikTok. I hopped back on social media. That's my own stuff. It kind of applies to Dream, but it's leverage. So we said last week, what was the episode? Leveraging two things against each other. That's why that's happening. So we've been in Dreamcat for 18 months. During that 18 months, I basically stopped consistently creating on social media. This is another level because I believe these things are leverage. So if we're here and we're like, okay, we're doing these spaces, we're rating on X, nothing's happening. Well, I guess we're all stuck. Well, a lot of people are stuck, but we're creators, right? At least that's the route we're going to take. So how would you create motion? Well, it could be by creating a stream like this somewhere else. It could be on Instagram. It could be on Twitch or something. It could be on X sporadically. I could be connecting with 50 new followers and then do a stream and do giveaways, right? Creating is a way that I know to bring in more people. You got to find other dreamers. I'd like to be a magnet by doing so with content and putting out more and more and more. So it's a little bit relevant. There's your update. Let's go to the board. Okay, pull this up here. Boom, there it is, Dreamcat. If you want to check out Dreamcat, dreamcat.xyz, check it out. Take a look. Everything's on the website. You can read real quick at the bottom. You should definitely read this. I bet you haven't read this. A few of you, when I say this, you're like, I've read it. This right here. This was one of the biggest, I think this is maybe one of the biggest alphas that Dreamcat could ever release. I don't know what our market cap is. I'm going to check in a second, but this is 54 pages. The problem with meme coins is most people are like, I don't care. Tell me real quick how it's going to moon, right? Tell me why it's going to moon. Just tell me. I don't care about all that stuff. I'm not reading all that. Cool story. I ain't reading all that. That's what they'd say. But again, remember what I said. We're doing the opposite of everyone else. If you read this, you realize there is not another meme coin playing at this level with a big enough, with a as big dream. This inside is the alpha on alpha. Okay. I would suggest if you're listening to this for the first time, go to dreamcat.xyz. Check this out. Check out how we differentiate ourselves. Check out these things. You can read this. This gives you confidence. You got to reinforce your confidence, not just look at the telegram and the chart. Know that we're moving in a direction. It's not all for nothing. Okay, but I digress. Let me get to what I want to get to, which is the chart. Do a quick peek at that. Hop over the quote of the day, and we got 3 giveaways to do. 3, count them, 3 marshmallows. Where's that from? If you tell me, I'll send you a 2,000 dream if you tell me where that quote is from. 3, count them, 3 marshmallows. Who knows? All right, I can't multitask. Where's the chart? Chart. We're down. We're down. Everybody panic. Okay, we're at 53K market cap. Someone sold $111 today. They bought 117. They sold 111 at a $5 loss. Guess what? They never believed in us. They were able to buy, but they never believed. We want to give people belief, but it's also their job to be involved to have the chance to obtain it, right? The market right now is actually sort of in a terrible spot. So if you're looking at the charts today, basically we had the crazy last week mega drop scare event that happened. The biggest liquidation, I think it was $19 billion liquidated from the market last week. Memes are down. I mean, even my great Popcat's like 147 million, previously 2 billion. So a lot of memes are hurting. You kind of know our deal. We've just been building. You just keep doing the work. You don't always pay attention to the metrics. The metrics come when the work lines up. We did it before. There's moments of sowing, moments of reaping. Hey, what a blessing. Think about this. I want to say one thing to the OG dreamers out there. Imagine, okay? This could actually be a blessing in disguise. We're going up. The market came. Okay, so let's say it goes here and we never got hacked or something, right? And so now we would never be down here if we never got hacked. We'd be like somewhere in here, even with the lows, right? Now just imagine we skipped everything we've done with the building and we're like, dude, let's just keep rating. Let's keep go. Let's get this thing. We could go higher and higher and higher and higher. But eventually, because we had no true foundation, no true building for anyone to go to, we'd be like every other meme coin. It's just about price. And we come all the way down to the floor. Instead, we're already here. But now we get to go up. I don't want to promise anything, but we can begin that venture soon, right? Of okay, let's climb, let's build, let's find our people. They're out there. No matter how long it takes, all you have to do is decide, hey, I'm one of those dreamers. I'm going to be one of those people. That's the choice that you have, right? To be one of said people. You can be. All right. So there you go. That's the price. If you're stopping by, give us a rocket, give us a red candle. I'm going to pump our stats right now. Give us another rocket. And then let's go to the quote of the day and the giveaways. If you have any questions, these live streams are an opportunity. I do them. Occasionally people will ask me questions. I don't want to pretend like they do it all the time. Cannot react. Maybe it's because my VPN. That's why. Can't use a VPN anymore for these. So I won't say people ask me questions all the time, but occasionally they might. That's what this is for. If you're here, you want to talk about dreams, you want to ask a question, I'll answer it live. Okay. Let's go to the good old quote of the day. I think there's more alpha buried in this quote. Here it comes. A person with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. Mark Twain. Now, do you understand what he's putting down? Basically, he's saying, when he says crank, if you're a person with a new idea, you're basically a joke, a loser, a nobody, a dreamer, delusional, out of your mind. It can't work that way. That's what they say about every new idea. So like Dyson vacuum cleaners, they don't have bags, right? Most vacuum cleaners come with bags. Dyson has no bags. So they say, no bags in a vacuum? He's a crank. He's a loony. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, guess what? James Dyson's a billionaire. #1 selling vacuum in the entire world. So I love this quote. Mark Twain, OG, man. He was around a long time ago and the ideas are still relevant. So check this out. Follow here. Person with a new idea is basically a loser, an outcast, a dreamer until the idea succeeds. Okay. So now let's look at that and that line. What does Andy Frisella say? No one's going to believe in you until you actually do it. We're here. We're talking about the dream. It's why we're giving value on this podcast to let people know about the dream, right? That's why we're here. We want to inspire. We want to educate. We want to give you some value. And hey, maybe along the way, you see the value in DreamCat, the most successful cat in the world, and how this can develop. You saw this background go from a foggy camera with terrible audio, a yellow and black background, up a level, right? Now it's professional. Now people comment and say, who does this wannabe influencer think he is, right? Hey, got some more attention, took it up a level. So maybe you see these things, maybe you see the evolutions, maybe you see the work, the progress, and you can say, what if DreamCat is one of those crank crazies, right? What do people tell me? Everyone I talk to gives me advice. Even, homies, friends, people who host spaces, multitude. I can think of at least 3 people off the top of my head who said, man, you got to have, people just want to see the buys come in. And PZ Dave hasn't even said this to me, but I know he always says, man, I love to see the buys. I love to see the buys. If you're just faking the buys, it costs money to do that, right? If you're just like running, like pumping in, that's pretty much what everyone does. Okay, so that's something. It's a crazy idea not to do that. It's a crazy idea. Everyone runs a volume bot. It's a crazy idea to let things develop organically. Maybe once you build your ground, you build your foundation, then you roll out the things that everyone else does. Maybe you do. And then it's explosive because it's real and there's real people behind it. But maybe, just maybe, we're one of those crank ideas right now. I've had people say that, when's marketing? Aki Charo asked me that. Yeah, okay, I know you have the plan, but when's marketing? That's the urgency. That's wanting things really, really quick. We know where we're going. At least I do. I proclaim it so anyone who wants to be a part of that dream can see, okay, hey, this is where the future of my potential investment could be or my development could be. Okay. I say that. When marketing, well, that's just wanting to rush it. We're just building, and when it's time, period, right? We're being aggressive. I mean, damn, we show up every day. What more do you want? You know how much time this takes already? You know how hard this is already? Come on now. Okay, there's that. Yeah, period. That's it. So think of it. Is DreamCat one of those ideas? Is your big dream a crank idea that people think is crazy and unbelievable? Again, it's unbelievable and crazy until it works. No one cared about what Mr. Beast was doing. Now he's the #1 YouTuber in the world, and everyone asks how he did it. Gary Vee was a nut for saying, I'm telling you guys, social media video is the next big thing. I'm all over MySpace. I'm all over Facebook. It's going to blow up. You'll see. And now I heard him say the other day, he makes $340 million a year from his businesses. Gary Vee, 340 mil per year. Huge value. He's been doing the same thing for 20 years, okay? Evolving things, but he's consistent workhorse. That's the power. 20 years of work. We're on 18 months building the foundation. And guess what? It's not our time. So when you want to talk about crazy ideas, I'm sorry to show DreamCat this much today, but this is Dream Talk. We're talking about the dream. When you think of it, okay, we're 18 months in. It's not our time. Imagine we continue on, we build all these things, we keep going, we're low market cap, but then all of a sudden, a new trend emerges. Man, instead of finding what's the next runner, things have evolved. We want to find the biggest builders. Show me people who have been building. A new Murad comes out and he says, I'm buying everything. Show me anything that have been building for 2 years straight. Show me anything that's been building for 2 years straight. 3 years, 5. The higher you go, the longer you build, the thinner the competition gets. Do you remember when I told you about that girl who was streaming? So Kai Cenat was doing a stream and he was on Twitch or whatever he was on. He said, let's find the person who's been streaming the longest. They found this girl who'd been streaming nonstop while she sleeps. You know, it's off to the side when she showers. She streamed nonstop for like 3 or 4 years. She got a tiny bit of buzz. Maybe she only had 220 listeners and viewers who showed up every day. They became her fans, or, you know, they were supporters, or they were just rooting for her here and there, however it was. And all of that, 3, 4, 5 years, and all of a sudden for one moment, remember, it only takes one. Suddenly Kai Cenat logs on. He says, who's this chick? Pulls her up. What's he do? He says, man, you've really been streaming for 5 years straight. That's crazy. I want to fly you out, come out, be on one of my streams. And I actually don't even know what she's doing now. Is she big time? Is she a celeb now? Did she blow up? I don't know for sure, but maybe it's the next one. The point is, over time, repetition, chasing your dream, these things work. That's why I've decided as a dreamer, I want to commit my entire life to dreams. So not to make it about me, but let's just inverse it. Could you make a similar commitment? Because when we talk about your dreams, remember, 93% aren't going to make it. If you just look up on Grok, how many people make their dream come true? I think it says on average like 6, 7, 8%. It's too hard to have a specific number because there's no way to measure it all the way. 6, 7, 8%. That means 93%, 92% are going to fail. So if you're doing what everyone's doing, you would be in that 92%. You think Dreamcat's great. It's a good idea, but if only we did this, this, and this like everyone else. Yes, then we can be competing against the people with $10 million to infuse, which we don't have. So we're doing the opposites, right? A different playbook. Otherwise, we'd be with the 92% and we'd be just like everyone else. You got to do something that makes you stand out. When you're chasing your dream, you got to do something that differentiate against the pack. Otherwise, you'll be a part of the pack. But if you want to be great, if you really want to fulfill a dream, dreams are not easy. They're supposed to be out of reach. If you want to be going against all these other people, you got to be investing in something that's outside of the realm, unusual. You need to be doing something that is, doing a massive action plan, being the best bagger in the world, being the best receptionist in the world. Come on, man. Am I making any sense? Or am I full of it? You let me know in the comments. If I'm completely full of crap and you disagree, you just let me know. I'm here for it. Mr. C, and I like his conviction. This is something I've talked about before, and he's adopted this. He says, I'm a Dreamcat millionaire. I remember when he made his first buy, we were probably 3 times higher in market cap when he made that buy. Bought it because he believed in that moment. And to his credit, he's still here, whether he believes or he's holding on. I think he's had enough exposures to believe and know that we're the real deal. So I had said, man, there's only 589 million Dreamcat tokens. And I think there's only like 100 million or 80 million that are publicly on the market. So if you wanted to have 1 million dream period, in theory, if everyone bought 1 million right now, only 80 people could be Dreamcat millionaires. Like they could make $1 million, but to have 1 million tokens could actually be a flex. If I say we're going to be here for a decade and we actually are, do you think we'll be at 53K in a decade? So I'm not asking you to follow along for the whole journey. You could just be an investor and log off. 1 million dream available to you right now. But you got to be one of those 222 people who stumbled across this and said, you know, maybe it's worth throwing one soul at. Maybe it's worth throwing, hey, you know what? One soul, you talked about dream. I'm going to go big on this one because life's all about risks. That's what I've been thinking. Man, maybe I'm going to go all in on my dream. I've never even done that my whole life. Maybe I'm going to do it this year or in the next 365 days. Maybe I'm going to go all in. I've never done that my whole entire life. What's possible? Anything. The life you've been waiting for. How exciting. So Dreamcat Millionaire. Shout out to you, my man. Dreamcat Millionaire. Thurston Waffle says, commitment. I'm committed, man. He says he told me he has a vision too. Let's go, man. I love it. I love it. That's just the show. Let's do giveaways. No one knew about 3, count them, 3 marshmallows. You missed your chance on that. What was the quote? SpongeBob SquarePants. Fun fact, you want to talk about magnets? I said I got my first job. The first podcast I ever listened to of my eventual boss, it was the first time I ever listened. It was a divine moment. because he talked about Steph Curry in basketball and he talked about SpongeBob SquarePants. And he was 70 years old talking about sales, which is what I was going to school for. I was like, I love SpongeBob. I love the NBA. I was like, wow, that is a line. I grew up, SpongeBob was my show. That's what I was watching all the time. Me and my sister sent me a picture of a giraffe today. She went to like the zoo or the petting farm with her little daughter, and I sent her a SpongeBob meme that says it's a giraffe. So, when you know, you know. Anyway, who cares? MVP, man, Thurston's been here in the comments. Oh, I didn't even see Iggy up there. What's up, Iggy? Dream time. Thanks for pulling up, man. Iggy's been going crazy this week. Perfect time to level up because I started leveling up too. So shout out to Iggy, man. He's creating content. He's raiding like crazy. He didn't want to wait for the music bot a few mornings. He opened it up. Continue to do so, man. Even if I'm filling up the queue, feel free to add your own into the queue as long as it fits the brand narrative. And again, if it's a song related to dreams, that's not like some terrible rap song, then we can throw it in there as well. All right. But MVP, he's your choice this week. I like to give it to people who just engage a little bit. We'll give Thurston and Raylan a chance. Thurston and Raylan. All right. We got a coin here. Gold coin. One side's heads. Got to cover my own face so you can see it. One side's heads. It's actually a Trump coin. One side's tails. We are going to make Thurston heads and Raylan tails. Here we go. 10,000 Dream. It is. Tails. Said Thurston head, Raylan tails. Congratulations, Raylan. 10,000 Dream. We also had 4 people who tapped in who either retweeted the stream or commented in the first 10 minutes. That's 1 through 4. We're going to do a random giveaway 1 through 4 to pick that winner. Why am I seeing no good pickers? These are no good pickers. These are too advanced. Number generator. Oh, by the way, did you guys see our new intro? We had to change it. The copyright people are getting strict, and so we got rid of the Hercules intro video and the number is 3. That's Mr. Scene. Congratulations, Mr. Scene. We will give you that chance, and if not, perhaps we will keep it in the vault and send it on to the next. But think about how much Dream you left on the table, Mr. Scene. You probably left at least 100,000 Dream. When you talk about Dream Millionaire, it all adds up. Okay, so yeah, we changed our intro video. It's different, copyright stuff. So changed it. Now we got a new clip on there. If you didn't see it, check it out again next week. That's all I got, guys. This is Dream Talk. Good old hour and 30 minutes. And one other announcement is in the somewhat near future, we will roll out another book club. This one will be available to all. This will be the book, The Secret. So if you want to participate in this book club actively, because we charged for the Think and Grow Rich book club, right? That was like one soul to get in. And there's also lifetime access, which was 2.5. We're going to adjust. So we are going to do The Secret sometime in the near future, maybe in I think in less than a month. So if you want to be a part and dig into this, get yourself a copy of The Secret. Let me know when you do. If you tag us, I'll retweet it. We're going to be going over The Secret. It's a good book. It's all about the law of attraction, and we're going to do it live. If you want to get on the inside, like on this, so you can talk with me, there may be a barrier that you gotta get across, but otherwise it'll be streamed publicly, so everyone can at least listen, comment, and get the deep dive into The Secret. So that is coming soon. But that's all I got. Thanks for popping into Dream Talk. I am Dream Cat, aka the Genie, aka Zach Krupp, and we will be back next Thursday with another Dream Talk soon. We may have a guest. Been talking to my man Peanut a little bit. He wants to come on one of the shows one time, talk about dreams. So we may have a guest in the near future. Maybe we'll open up to more guests. We shall see. But that's all I got. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.